All right, ladies, today is going to be, I don't know, we're just going to just kind of play it by ear. And I'm going to just be making some comments and answering questions and whatever else we want to do today. And I have a couple of videos I want to go over and a couple of things I want to let you all know that has been going on over here. For those of you joining me live, just hit the like and subscribe and share. Let everybody know that we're live over here on the YouTube side. Let me make sure I've let everybody know. And we are going to get started in about 2.2 seconds. Welcome, everybody, to the Inner Beauty TV. I'm your host, Nicole Michelle, founder and feminine mentor for the Inner Beauty Movement. We're all about helping women reconnect with their power, their core, their essence, while simplifying the pathway to marriage. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, definitely give us a like, a follow, and a subscribe. We'd love to have you. And as I always say, I'd love to be your mentor in love, like Naomi guided Ruth. So, speaking of Naomi guided Ruth, a couple of announcements I want to make. I'm so happy. I woke up in a very, very good mood, and then I got a good message. So I'm happy. But our three pillars over here on this channel is faith, family, and femininity. And that's what we like to push over here: faith, family, and femininity. Our faith in God, our feminine womanhood, and prioritizing our family. Shout out to my brother Phineas Henshaw, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. Seating the tip jar. Good afternoon. Hey, glad you're hanging out today. You might enjoy today. As we get started. So, a few things I want to say. I got some good news in my inbox, and you all be patient with me if you send me messages and I don't get to it for a few days. I'm trying to do better, but sometimes I don't always get to it. Like, you might send it on a platform that I don't always check my messages frequently. Don't give up. Try emailing me or try a different platform. I'm so sorry. I'm working on that. But anyway, I got a message this morning that another Inner Beauty Movement member has gotten married. Y'all check it out. For a small audience as such as this, we stay winning over here. I don't have thousands upon thousands of people following me. I'm not super huge or popular or, on every podcast every other day or name dropped or anything like that. But without that name recognition, we still win, because my focus has always been, and I'm not knocking any of that in no way, shape, or form, shading that, but I'm just saying, without those things, we stay winning. We try to stay focused over here on what's important, and that's you. So shout out to Tasia, and you can see the announcement on my Instagram stories, and I will post her testimony in email and on my website so that you all can actually read her actual message to me. And I woke up to that. What a beautiful message. Isn't she gorgeous? So just for the naysayers, the people in this audience, the women are lookers. Like, I don't have any boo-boos in my audience. The women are lookers. The face cards are carding. The waist lines are snatched. We don't have any boo-boos over here. So just so you know. Anyway, shout out to Tasia. She's going to make a beautiful bride, beautiful ring. I'm so super excited about her journey and being her Naomi, and I'm looking forward to helping other women get to that landmark as well. Which brings me to my next announcement. Excuse me. Which brings me to my next announcement. The Blind Spot to Bride program has finally been released. For all of you that may be struggling with trying to figure out, and I know when I was single, let me just tell my own testimony. When I was single, I got frustrated at one point after my divorce, re-entering the marriage market, trying to understand it, and really trying to understand the dating market had evolved since I had was in it in the late 90s to what it was after I got my divorce, and trying to navigate that. And a lot of times some of my relationships didn't last, and I had no clue why they didn't. Like, on paper they should have lasted, and a couple of times I was like, okay, I kind of know where I foo-booed, and I kind of definitely know where he foo-booed, but I sometimes I was in the dark. I really was clueless, like, what is going on. And sometimes you don't always want to just pick up the phone or book a coach, or you just don't really want to talk about it. You just want to kind of stew in your own type of whatever you're feeling for the moment. You just want to kind of, I don't know, just kind of sit with your emotions for a minute, sit with and process everything. You don't really want to just kind of put that out there and just kind of talk to other people. You just kind of want to experience it. And that's how I kind of was, kind of introspective a little bit. And so I created this program with that type of woman in mind, that you may not just want to just be talking about it because you really don't know how to articulate it. You just know that you're in relationships that you thought should last, and you have no idea why they didn't. So I created this program to condense it, and it's real quick. It's like a mini program. It's really quick. You should finish it in less than an hour and a half, easy. And just it, and it's things that you could do to kind of pull it out. And it's actually my program condensed. I kind of broke it up, and so that you can get it in bite-sized pieces. Now I'm going to have my long form programs, but I have these bite-sized things meant for busy women, exceptional women like yourselves. You just don't have time when you finish work, or you finish the kids, or you finish your husband, or whatever is on your schedule. You don't have time for a long, drawn out anything. You just want to get it and get in, get out, get the premise of, and move on. And that's how I was. So I'm thinking like I was when I was single and out here mingling, and I just want to get to it. All right. Hey to everybody in the chat joining me live, to those of you joining me on the rebroadcast. So that's what I have it in mind. That's what I created. Blind Spot to Bride. Some of the women that have worked with me in the programs, the packages that where we have several sessions, they have actually gone through Blind Spot to Bride. I just had named it that, so I subtracted that program, and I said, you know what, a lot of women will benefit from this, but they may not need 9 sessions or 4 sessions or whatever. They just need to I just need to know why my relationships aren't working, and I need an answer, and I need it quick, right? And so that's why I did that. I had this in mind. So Blind Spot to Bride today is available. You get it at the launch price, a special price for you. You just click the link at the top and enjoy. Shout out to those of you who have already entered it. Let me know what you think. And because I did it with yours in mind. So again, shout out to Tasia on her brand new engagement, sending love and blessings to that young beautiful woman. And for those of you that have other announcements, this is the proposal season now in Valentine's Day. So if you have some announcements, go ahead and send them to me. And so I'm glad, and I'm actually so grateful that this program is blessing some lives. And that's what I do. For a very small group of women, we stay winning over here. I'm on par with a lot of bigger platforms and more well renowned coaches, world renowned coaches, like household names. I'm on par with that, considering if you compare the percentages, we're doing pretty well for a small group. The feminine elite is, we're no slackers over here. We're no slackers. That's all I gotta say. And the larger we get, the more I plan to perform. Because one thing about me is I don't win unless you win. Like right here, this is a win for me. This is a win. I'm bragging. This is my day, right? I won. This is like not my Super Bowl, but this is like, you know how your favorite football team wins? Okay, this is my win. When you win, I win. I'm bragging, baby. I'm bragging because you did the work, and now you get to experience. And her email to me, her message to me was so sweet. She's gonna experience the soft life, and she's going to work until they start a family, and then she's going to become a full-time housewife once they start their family. So baby, I'm excited for her. And ladies, it's going to be more of you, so don't give up. The final announcement I want to say, y'all, I promised y'all merch like maybe 2 years ago, and better late than never. Still love me, y'all. So we have t-shirts, we have mugs, we have journals, we have aprons, we have sweaters. Yes, sweaters. Yes, sweaters, baby. Yes, we have the travel mug. You know, like the what's that? The Stanley Cup travel mug. We have that too, and different designs. And I have special designs that I'm trying to figure out for the feminine elite, not the feminine elite, but the Future Wives Club, because their designs have to be next level. Because I want it to be signature, the Future Wives Club. But I do have those items up at the store. If you want to go directly to the link, when you go to the channel, excuse me, you go to the channel, it should be a link that directs you to the store. You can pick up the Future Wives Club stores. That's a conversation starter. People are going to ask you, what is God's Covered Girls? They're going to ask you, what is Future Wives Club? They're going to ask you, inquisitively ask you, what does that mean, Future Wives Club? And some people are not that bright. They may not completely understand what you're talking about, but yeah, they'll get it. So, those shirts are available now. Plus the mugs. I love the mugs. I have black and white mugs. I have the travel mugs and the journals, and it's a lot of stuff. So go check it out. And some more stuff coming. I have the tote bags and there's a couple of other things I'm working on down the pipe. But I did deliver. Better late than never. But I didn't want to deliver any junk, like just to say I have merch. No, it needs to be classy, it needs to be elegant, that fits you ladies. How about that? All right, so ladies, those of you that have questions, get them ready, because we're going to do that. We're going to talk about whatever you all talk about. But I have a few videos that I saw around that I wanted to talk about. So let me see if I could pull them up. And I don't know what happened to the third video, but I'm going to try to pull it up real quick. And here it is. We see if she downloads. I must have accidentally deleted it, but that's okay.
Get somebody else to do it.
Okay, so this is Auntie. She's and if you read the screen, she says when he finally, he's finally ready for marriage, but got diabetes. He has diabetes. He has liabetes, sleep apnea, erectile dysfunction, and thyroid disease, and high blood pressure. And so, for the fellas that thought that it would just be this plethora of old ladies out here that just have this disposable income and they still look good, they still have it going on, and they were just going to be sitting around for husbands. This is the trend that's going on now. And my husband likes to call them geriatric marriages. This is the trend. They're saying no, thank you. And the reason why that's happening is because I remember specifically when, hey everybody, specifically remember when Brother Kevin Samuels was alive. And I may do a whole show dedicated to Kevin. I've done one before, but that was years ago, before he actually blew up, y'all. I've done several podcasts with Kevin before he blew up. All right, before he, excuse me, went on all of these big platforms. Him and I chopped it up right here on Interbreeder TV. I should pull receipts, but I don't. Yeah, but anyway, if I do another show with about Kevin, I want to show some of the videos that are going around. And one of the talking points he had was that the women were going to grow old and they were going to be cat ladies. Well, the women are kind of pushing back with that now, with their own narrative, and they're saying, you know what, a lot of these guys are coming to us on their last leg. So like when they're good looking and they're virile and active and healthy, they don't want relationships, they don't want to do right, they don't want a family, they just want to be out here in these streets, city boys up, right? But then when they get older, now all of a sudden they recognize good women when they get older. And so some of the women are pushing back. Now the other part to that is some women were out here city girling too, and now they've gotten older. And so in their effort to try to position themselves to be wives in an older age. It hasn't been successful, so now they're pushing back and saying, okay, you, I couldn't, I didn't really want that, or I didn't know, or whatever happened. I didn't get married when I was younger. Now that I want to get married when I'm older, now all I get is this old sickly guy that I have to take care of. And a lot of women are pushing back and they're saying, no, I'm not doing that. I know I have my issues, but I still don't want to do that. And you know what? It's fair. Because y'all, I redid my little chart here. I redid it and updated it. All right. But a lot of people just is they're just in the dating sexual market right now. That's just where they are right now, and they're comfortable there right now. And so they just, and as they age, it becomes more difficult to merge into that marriage market. And I didn't say it's impossible. I said it's difficult because, habits have set in. You like your life. You're comfortable with how things are going. Hey, Star. Hey, baby. She says she loves the new program. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Awesome. Well, listen, a lot of people find it kind of challenging to merge from dating sexual market to the marriage market because most of it is mental. A lot of it is mental, and presentation wise is different. Marriage market is a lot different than a dating sexual market. And a lot of people will have you believe that it's the same, and it's really not. And so, as women start to age, you're going to see more and more women pushing back on marriage. It's going to be this, and it already is this notion that as you get married, no healthy older people are actually out there, and they don't want to take care of. And what I see is that marriage is till death do you part, through sickness and in health, till death do us part. And a lot of women feel that they have a point where he just ran the streets all these years, or he's been a player for the last 20, 30 years, and now he wants to settle down when he's the oldest man in the club. And, all the young women just look at him as a sugar daddy. And now all of a sudden he wants to be married. I get that. That's a valid point. But the other part of that is some women just don't want to be nurturing as they age. They've been on their own all their lives, most of their lives anyway. They're professional. They've saved their money. They don't want to deal with having to nurture anyone, period. And so the latter parts of your life, you are aging, you're getting older, and you may face some challenges physically or whatever, especially with family, money. I mean, your life is constantly changing, just like it did when you were young. But when you were young, you were too busy having fun. But when you're older, yeah, life is life. And so a lot of women just don't want to sign up for that. I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that, but it's if you look closely, it will be mostly women that have never been married. This particular woman, I do believe she has been married, and you also have to consider the type of men that these women were dealing with. Were they dealing with good men and it just didn't work out? You can tell because she's going to say, "Or I was abused," or "He cheated on me," or "He lied to me, and I'm done with marriage." That's legitimate concern, but please understand that's why she's saying what she's saying. And the reason why I'm pointing this out to you ladies is I want you ladies to understand that everything you hear and see, you've got to guard your heart. You know what you want. You know what it is you desire. You can't change and morph and take on the attitude and posture of women who have a different journey than you. A lot of times their desire was never marriage. It was never family. It was never, and I'm not saying that that's the case forever and amen, but I am saying a lot of times a lot of messages are birthed out of they were never family oriented. They never really wanted to do the mother thing. It just happened. And so now that they're older and they're empty nesters and they are on their own, they want to do them for a minute. And you know what, and I'm not knocking that. Just understand, I need you to use critical thinking when you're listening to people when they are expressing their point of views. And TikTok and social media is full of people with thoughts and patterns and opinions, and nothing's wrong with that. I just need you to stay focused on what it is you're supposed to do. Don't digest their I don't want to say negativity, but their point of view always on marriage. I try to give a balanced view of marriage, that you're going to have your ups and downs, and that marriage won't be peach and cream every day. Like, you're going to have your days where, okay, I just want this day to get through because we're just not vibing today. But that's going to be few, it should be few and far between in your marriage. Most of your marriage should be happy. And you will have your valleys and you will have your mountaintops. And that's the truth. That's as balanced as I can tell you. What you want me to tell you? He gonna beat you up? Is that what you want to hear? No, that's not what you want to hear. Because that's not the marriage you should be in anyway. But unfortunately, we live in a society that's really against marriage. If you really think about it, everything's against marriage. I got very upset with Disney. And I have been upset with Disney for the last 2 to 3 years with all the wokeness. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's the kids' park. Let the babies play, okay? Everything is a political statement. Just let the babies play. Let the babies be cheering. You know what I mean? It's ugh. And then I will wake up and I get news that Hulu is merging with Disney, and I was like, no, I wanted to cancel Disney after my daughter moved out. I so wanted to be like, cancel, but I couldn't because Hulu is merging with Disney. Then Netflix goes and buy, and I'm happy with this merger actually. Netflix merges with HBO. I'm actually pretty cool with that one. But I was like, oh my god, I wanted to cancel Disney so bad. I so did. And Disney, Warner Brothers, Time Warner, all of that is kind of, Disney owns ESPN, so it's kind of all intertwined. You're going to see all of the big studios merging. Paramount is trying to buy up Netflix. It's just crazy. It's real crazy, and I can't cancel Disney like I had wanted to. But now I got to deal with Disney because Hulu is over there. So, oh, yuck. Anyway, I'm just saying all that to say that it's just a lot of changes going on, and that's just what it is. So I just want you to keep an open eye and an open mind and a prayerful mind when you're hearing people's points of view. So I just wanted to play that video. Here's another video of a guy. You probably have seen it, and he's had millions of views on this little TikTok video, and I saw it and I was like, oh wow, this deserves a look. So let's take a listen.
The house. You ain't got to do nothing, baby.
Hold on, let's rewind. This was sent to me by Madeline, so shout out to her.
You know what the ultimate flex for a man is? When somebody asks you, hey man, what does your wife do for a living? Nothing. She don't work, bruh. She don't work. Well, you could take your lady out the office. Put her ass up in the house. You ain't got to do nothing, baby. That's the real flex. You feel me? You can tell a lot about a man just by looking at the woman that he's with. Don't let that go over your head, bro.
First of all, what is the sandwich he's eating? That's what I want to know. And two, what do you all think about this video? I thought it was good. And the one thing about these little snippets is that it doesn't clarify everything that housewives do. We do a lot. We do a lot. We have to keep the, and it's not, it's like that quiet labor. Like, you have to keep the house running. You got to keep everything stocked. I don't know who he is. Hold on, let me look real quick. I think it's something. Let me look real quick. His name is. Let me get my glasses. Uh oh. His name is curated by Will. Curated by Will. But a lot of times, women of the home, we are kind of like, oh, she's just sitting at home looking at TV. I hope that's not what you're doing. You have things to do. Like, you have laundry, you have food to prepare, you have to make sure that the pantry is stocked. Little details like that. Like, we just got some snow the other day. A housewife is going to make sure there's toilet tissue, there's paper towels, that the pantries are stocked, and food in the refrigerator, and water in case that you have to curate it by will. Yes, thank you. In case you have to be in the house for a few days. My husband had the sniffles the other day. He had chicken soup on hand. All he had to do was go to the pantry. He snuck in there and made soup. He's not supposed to be in the kitchen cooking, but he snuck in there and made some soup. And like little things like that. And I said, baby, you got the sniffles. We have medicine. We have cough drops. We have soup. We have everything you need. I even offered to make him chicken soup by scratch. Of course, he declined, but you do understand that's what our job is. So when men are saying, "Yeah, my wife, she just sits at home," please understand she doesn't literally sit at home. But people who are anti-marriage will take that, "Oh, you a fool because you just have your wife sitting at home." We're not literally, quote unquote, sitting at home, especially when you have children. That's insane. And now that I'm a empty nester and it's just Tony and I again, my daughter moved out. Oh, I miss my baby. I resist the urge to just go sit at her house, and I resist the urge. Tony won't let me, and buy up stuff for her apartment. I will not do it. I will not do it. Tie my hands behind my back. I won't go over there and spoil her and buy her stuff. Just for her kitchen. Just for her kitchen. She has to have stuff for her kitchen. And it has to be good stuff, good pots and pans and things like that. And then I might get her some bedroom stuff. She needs the curtains and things like that. I promise I won't go overboard. But anyway, but I still have to go in there and clean up the carpet and clean up stuff in her room. Like it's just the bathrooms and all of those home goods. Exactly, you feel me, right? You know, a fellow housewife, because we get excited about new appliances released by Shark. Like that's we like that kind of stuff, the brands and the things. Like we needed some batteries. We keep that stuff on hand. Candles, lighting, matches, all kinds of things in the house for the family. When people come over, they feel welcome, things like that. Your bathroom should be clean, all of that stuff. And when people talk about housewives, they just say we just sitting at home. Let them think what they want to think, ladies. Those of us that are traditional, we know what we have to do. We know we have to go in there every day and give our 100% best, because our boss is our husband. And if he's not happy, then we failed, period. So we're not just out here just laying up all day. Because sometimes my husband will say, "Why don't you just take a nap? You don't feel good." I'm like, "No, I have things to do. I have emails to send. I have web pages I gotta do." It's just not just laying around. Please, and then a lot of times professional women, no shade, no tea, but they like to throw low key shade. I just can't sit at the house all day. And I'm like, I don't know who's sitting at the house all day. I guess I could flip it and say I just don't want to be in the office all day with all those germs and attitudes and office politics. And because if something happens to the company, well, what happens to me? I'm disposable, but here in this home, I'm not. I'm indisposable. Shout out to my brother again for the $10 super chat. He said, if a person is marriage minded, they should focus on the type of person they want to marry, not being concerned about the 99.99% of the other people that do not matter. Ignore the bashers. Absolutely. I totally, 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 totally agree. As a matter of fact, a lot of podcasts around social media focuses on the very women that they say they don't want, which baffles me. It blows my mind right up and through there. It's really crazy. And then this next video.
And for the foreseeable future, honestly, I have made the decision to opt out of dating for next year and for the foreseeable future, honestly, because I'm just uninterested. I'm uninterested. I'm unattached. I'm ending this year single with no talking stages, no situationships, no relationship, nothing. Like it's literally me. And that feels really good because at the beginning of this year, I was in a relationship. We broke up. I was single all summer. I've been single. I'm still single. But I did decide to give a few people
Okay, sorry about that.
a chance and just to like do it for the plot, see where things go, maybe ease into talking to men again. They reminded me exactly why I don't. For the foreseeable future, I am opted out of dating. I don't want to go on dates. I don't want to talk to a man in a romantic way at all. I honestly don't even think I want male friends. Like, I don't want to get to know any men. I don't.
Okay. Let's stop right there. So remember maybe 2 years ago I said that we're gonna have a trend. Remember I did the video about decentering men? And I said we're gonna have a trend of women just not talking to men, just completely. So I'm doing work right now. I'm doing work right now trying to dissect why women are willing to walk away from something that they claim they want, which is marriage and a family, simply because they can't have the one guy that they desire. And when I mean one guy, I'm talking about this guy. I'm talking about the their preference, their favorite, their preferred guy, their favorite, the Mr. Guy A. If they can't have him, they're willing to walk away from marriage and family altogether. So then my question becomes, did you really want marriage? Because when you're looking to build a family, right? When you're looking to build a family, and you're in the marriage market, you're looking for substance. You're looking for a man that can handle responsibility. You're looking for a man that you can help build his legacy. You're looking for a man that you want a family with, start a family with, and you're looking for a man that you can spend a lifetime with, right? So, and all of that, women have gotten out of that. If I can't marry the man that gives me initial sparks, then I don't want any man. And so I'm kind of worried because then I wonder if marriage was really something that you wanted. And for some reason, in this very superficial society, we have forgotten that you can be attracted to your husband too and have all of those things in the marriage market. But what if you're spending all of your time on 20% of men and ignoring 80% others? So I found a video of a young woman who was saying, look, I gave chances to those guys that you all said I should give a chance to. But it still didn't work out. So it's like confirmation bias. So I went out with the guys that I didn't find attractive, or for some reason I've X'd them out. And so now I'm not dating big guys. I'm not dating short guys. I'm not dating bald head guy. Whatever she eliminated due to looks, and or basically looks. It's very superficial. And so she's like, I'm not doing it because it didn't work. And so it's almost like it's confirmation bias. What do you all think about that? And I'm kind of concerned because a lot of women are going to miss out on the life they claim they want simply because they don't understand that attraction grows. And I'm going to talk more about that too. I'm not going to go all into that. And that's the worst kind of conversation that young women want to hear now, is that attraction grows, because they've never been taught that. Because in our very sexual driven society, everything is pop, pop, pop. Everything's fast. Sent you a text message, now we on a date, now we in the bed. Everything's fast, fast, fast. Nothing is slow burn. Nothing is slow burn. Even when you know this is somebody that you want to marry, it still should be a slow simmer, right? Even if you put it in a slow cooker, it got cooked, right? But it just got cooked slow, and it's just as good. But when it gets cooked fast, sometimes it gets burned. And you have to stand there and watch it, and it gets burned real fast. It's, a lot of times, depending on what you're cooking, if you cook it too fast, you ruin it. It needs to be cooked slow. Relationships that lead to marriage specifically are unions that have to be simmered. They gotta slow cook. Gotta slow cook. And in that slow cooking, you're getting to know him, he's getting to know you, and the masks are starting to fall down. Shout out to C Boogie Productions, right? That's something he built a platform saying the mask come down, right? But if you moving too fast, everybody still has their mask on, baby, right? Nobody wants to stay for the after party, right? But marriage, go ahead and send your questions to me, I'm ready. Marriage is something that has to be slow burned, right? Slow, nice and simmer, right? And so a lot of times the relationships never get a chance to blossom because everything's moving so fast. And I should have had I should have did a diagram because I love diagrams. A diagram of a fast relationship in the dating sexual market, swoosh right up to the top, right? Like a roller coaster, right up to the top. What's that roller coaster at Universal Studios? The red one where as you first come in the park is red and it goes right up to the top and then it comes right back directly down. Oh my god. I had to sit for 20 minutes after that. I was like, hold on, let me get myself together. I cannot believe my daughter talked me into this. And she said, Mama, you going on the Incredible Hulk? I said, what? After I just experienced that? Are you kidding me? Come on, give me a break. So, the free fall, no, it's yeah, the free fall, but it's a ride at Universal Studios that goes straight up and then straight down, and then they have the nerve to have a music box attached to the ugh, so you can't scream because you're in shock, and then it's music playing, like, so you can forget you're dying. Like I don't get it. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. That's what the relationships are like, straight up and then straight down. A lot of times just straight down, and so you'll always have these people that decide, well, we slept together on the first date and we got married and we've been married 20 years. Yeah, I got freaky with him in the backseat of the car outside the club and we've been married for 30 years. You will always get those, right? Yeah, I don't look at a woman for how many people she slept with. I love her. We've been married 30 years. You'll always get those. But please keep in mind, exceptions actually prove the rule. They're not the majority for a reason. And I talk about that in my first book, From Hello to I Do. I talk about that. Exceptions actually make the rule. And you can't go by exceptions, right? We have to go by the numbers, the hard data. The hard data says, right, that we need elevator. I don't remember it. I just know something rocket. I don't know. It's red and it's in the front of the park. But anyway, so it just made me crazy. So I was dizzy for 20 minutes. Anyway, so what I'm saying, a lot of relationships are just like that. You're just excited to get on that ride. You're like, ooh, look at that ride. Ooh, I'm about to get on that ride. Ooh, yeah, we're about to have some fun. And you get on the ride and you go straight to the top. Woo, it's fun. Straight to the top. And it's funny because when I'm on the ride and you're literally laying on your back and going up in the sky. That's how dramatic this ride is. Whoever designed this is a genius because I was repenting. I'm like, Lord, please accept me in the kingdom of heaven because I'm going to die right now. I was sure I was going to die. And then it was music playing. I was like, this is, get me off this machine. This is insane. Okay, so you're going straight up into the sky. That's how it is when you're in an exhilarating connection with a man, right? It's exhilarating. You're excited. Woo, we're about to have fun. And then once you get to the top, whoop, bop, you just drop. And it's funny because as you're dropping, you're like, whoa, this is supposed to be fun. But wait, it's dramatic. And wait, it's so much danger. And wait, is this right? Should I be falling this fast? And then as soon as you try to make sense of it, the ride eases on out, right? It eases on out and then it plateaus. Shout out to Tasia, hey baby, and it eases on out, and then it smooths out. You think it's smooth, right? And then on this ride, I'm like, woo, it's not gonna be so bad. But it was so many twists and turns and twists and turns. That ride, I couldn't scream. I was literally like, my face was just like peeled back. My mouth was wide open. I couldn't scream. I was like, the whole entire ride. And that's exactly what the dating sexual market is with these short term attraction, fast chemistry relationships are. And as soon as you think it's leveled out, bottom just another dip, and then it's another circle, and then as you're going round and round, and then you're going upside down and up and up and down and up. That's what those relationships feel like. And before you can catch your breath, child, the ride is over. And then you're vomiting outside. But the point I'm trying to make is we try to build solid futures with those types of relationships. It's just that's just not. Now, the ride I do like is the mummy and it's old as dirt, but I love the Mummy at the Universal Studios. Right? This is a great analogy. The Mummy. Go ride the Mummy. That was my bag right there. The Mummy. It was more my speed. Right? It had enough dips and but I could go with it, right? It wasn't shocking, it was slow. It was like a slow ride and then it had a few dips and curves, but I could handle it because it was my speed. And it started out slow and then it got fast and then it slowed down, but it was so enjoyable that it became my favorite. Why? Because it wasn't so up front. Everything wasn't so up front as the rocket ride, the red ride. The mummy ride was kind of slow and then you kind of gradually went into it and then by the time you gradually got into it you were used to it and you liked it. It was just a better experience. It became my favorite ride. And what am I trying to say? That the mummy was more like marriage where it's going to take its time. It's going to slowly ride into it, and then you're going to have some dips and curves up in there to make it interesting. But for the most part, it's safe, right? And at some points, I had to trust the conductor because I was in pure blackness. Like when you ride the mummy, it's dark. Like you cannot see your hand in front of your face, like that dark. But I had to trust it. I had to trust the process, and I still enjoyed it because I felt like I made a good choice. Right? That's kind of how marriage is, where you just have to trust it. That's how courtship is, where we're getting to know each other. It's slow, it's not immediate, and it is something that we both enjoy, but it's something that will grow over time. You're gonna have it's gonna be fast sometimes. Sometimes it's gonna get slow. Sometimes the ride actually stopped. And there's another ride with Harry Potter ride. I can't remember the name of it. What's the big dude and the big dude? Anyway, he has a ride where he has this motorcycle that flies, and that ride it stops and goes backwards, and it goes up and down, and then it stops in the middle of the ride, and then it goes fast, like 10 times faster than it started. And that's how relationships are, where it's just unpredictable. But once you get on a ride that you're familiar with and you're like, yeah, this is cool, and you kind of go with it and you can deal with the dips. That's how marriage is. That's how courtship that leads to marriage is. It's slow and it's not always immediate. But just because you didn't go all the way to the top when you first got on the ride doesn't mean it's not going to be a fun ride. Work with me here, for lack of better analogy, okay? All right. Rose, she says, I recall a YouTuber talking about how women are not bothered by the idea of creating communities of just women and having pets. Ma'am, what? Speak for yourself. Those are those women, not all of us. Exactly. Hey, Miss Rose. Yeah, that's insane. I'm not giving up, and I was one of those people. Back in the day, I had it worse off than you ladies. I had 3 kids, a divorcee, and I was older, right? So I was worse off, and I refused to let naysayers and negative words be spoken over my life. If something that I wanted, I knew that God would provide if I just trusted Him. And that's what I'm telling you. Don't buy into these negative things that you're going to hear, and you're going to hear a lot of them. They're going to pick up, but yeah, that they're going to, especially in densely populated areas, especially, right? You're going to see it everywhere, but especially in densely populated areas, you're going to see more people moving in together, especially as the economy dips. It's going to dip, it's going to get bad before it gets better. And when you see that, you're going to see a lot of people living together, moving in, moving back home with mom and daddy. Be blessed and be glad that you have parents that you can move back in with. Shout out to my kids. You always welcome to come back home. But so you always, you're going to have these people that do, I'm same sex in love for the sake of, because I'm tired of men or I'm tired of women. You're going to have that. I'm situational, LGBTQ. You're going to have that. You're going to have a lot. You're going to have an increase of that. Some of it's going to be out of survival. Some of it's going to be out of they just making a hard decision, a hard and fast decision. So just look for that. And so you're going to have a lot of people pushing that, trying to make it mainstream. So that it's something that they've decided to do, and so they want to make it cool, right? Um, she said, I think what she's what she's doing should have been done in her late teens and early 20s. There comes a time when you have to consider not wasting your youth. Absolutely. I totally agree. That's a very good point. And this is why I lean into the young women over here a lot, because I want the ladies to know that my daddy used to tell me something: never get yourself in something you can't get yourself out of. And that stayed with me. And I want to tell you ladies that too. Don't go so far down the rabbit hole that you lose your way. Don't get in the dark market, because some people never come up out of that, right? Some people try to come out of the dark market, get out of the water, and get on the iceberg and wait and try to get to the marriage market. It doesn't always happen that way, because men are smart. They're figuring it out, and they're like, no, 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 I'm not going to be your safety net. Just like women are saying they're not going to be geriatric wives, and men are saying I'm not going to be your safety net suitor, as I used to call it. Where's that safety net suitor? This guy. They're not going to be him. They're not going to be him. Nope, we're not doing it. So the women are saying, yeah, I'm not going to marry the geriatric and be a geriatric wife. And the men are saying, I'm not going to be your safety net suitor. So we have a Mexican standoff. So I'm going to be interested to see who wins that. I'm going to be interested to see who wins that, because women have degrees and jobs, and I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Just understand, ladies, that what I'm saying to the young women is that when I see young women like under 35 talking as if they've given up, my heart sinks. Because baby, I was still in the game, honey, and I had 3 kids and a divorcee. So I don't know I don't know if it's what they're constantly seeing in social media. I don't know why they're so down and out. I do know that if women are focused solely on this guy and hoping that that's the guy that they get, I'm going to break that down again and again and again and again and again until you all get it, that marriage is not just about validation. A lot of people are looking for validation through their man. When I was growing up, we believed that the woman should be the pretty one in a relationship anyway. So, seeing a woman with a pretty super good looking guy, we were like, what is she doing? Is she okay? Like, because we knew that he's gonna push her out of the way of the mirror, because he needs to be in the mirror. I don't know, somewhere between the 80s and the 90s, or maybe the 90s and the 2000s, somewhere in between there, it became it became the thing to get a super good looking man. Shout out to y'all. But anyway, uh, shout out to you all that love the pretty boys. When I saw King's Court, shout out to Tyson on King's Court. If you ever have a chance to watch that, I love what's her name, Holly Robinson Pete and Rodney Pete, and they, God bless their souls. I pay $1 to just be a fly on the wall in their conversations after they meet some of the people that they talk to on the show. And Tyson Beckford was on there, and Lord, I didn't know he was so immature. Shout out to Tyson. Anyway, he's prime example of a jawline guy who can literally just play around till he's 60 or 70 years old and never get married, because women will fall all over them. And they did that in the entire show. They were just totally chased him the entire show. The entire show. And I was just like, that's not how you get a Tyson. And the one woman that actually could hold his feet to the fire, of course he didn't want her. She was too good for him. She was too good for him, and he was just, he didn't diss her, he didn't play around with her. But a lot of times those guys, they know when they have a real one, they know when they can't play, and they will they will make up many reasons why they can't move forward. But it's them, not you. I just want you to know it's usually them and not you. And I'm not saying all guy A's are like that, but the majority of them are. I'm just going to be 100. The majority of them are. So if you want to jump in the ring for a guy A, be my guest. I've done videos about how to get them. They're not hard to get. You just got to know how to get them. Shout out to the women that want to do the work. Go on and do that work, girl. Get that guy A. The work never stops with him, by the way. Just so you know, it never stops. And you just had a baby, never stops. Going through menopause, never stops. Your edge is coming out because of stretch and stress. It never stops, boo boo. It never stops with guy A. Just understand that. You gaining weight from work, from stress, from work, because chances are you will never be a housewife with a guy A, right? Just so you know that, right? Some of your favorite women that you love that's claim to be soft life, they're not really soft life. Candace Owens. A lot of them are not soft life. They're not. They're working, bringing in a check, paying bill, paying bills, honey. Paying bills. When you get that guy A, honey, you don't get to sit at home and be pretty and soft and do videos. That's not what you get to do, honey. He's gonna put you to work. It never stops. So, but shout out to y'all who want your guy A's. No problem. I will tell you how to get him if that's what you want to do. Just understand, it's about 50 and 11 other women doing the same thing. Just so you know. So anyway, um, but back to younger women. With younger women, I want you all to know not to give up. That's bottom line. So when I see women like this who are giving up, it
I even gave
just breaks my heart. And I don't know how young she is, but she looks around 35, early 30s. And to hear women that age giving up is wild to me. It's crazy.
I have made the decision to opt out of dating for next year and for the foreseeable future, honestly, because I'm just uninterested. I'm uninterested. I'm unattached. I'm ending this year single with no talking stages, no situationships, no relationship, nothing. Like it's literally me. And that
Now, what I will tell you is this. Cutting off everybody and going into the new year, or just cutting off everybody and getting your head straight and spending time with yourself is actually a good move. And I talked about this on a reel I did a few weeks ago in my stories. So look out for my stories. I drop gems in there every now and then. And I said, right before I met my husband, I just did a detox. No men, no relationships, no calling, no texting, no nothing. Just prayer, just me and God. I spent some time just doing me. I cut off all the relationship advice, no books, no nothing. And I just focused on work and the inner beauty movement and my kids and everything else. And lo and behold, my husband came. So some women, you kind of need a detox of everything. Now, this doesn't apply to every woman, but you know who you are. If you need a detox, if you feel like you have this feeling in your gut that something is just off and you just need to figure it out, detox. No TV, no internet, no emails, no podcasts, no, just kind of take a break from it. This is part of the lesson here. Stop waiting to be selected and just kind of shut out the world. Everyone's sitting around waiting to be selected, right? And I was doing that for a minute. I'm like, look at me. I'm not bad looking. I'm in Atlanta. I make good money. I'm living in a posh neighborhood. I'm chilling right now. I'm a catch. And I should be selected. I'm over here popping my collar. Yeah, I should be selected. What? What's going on with me? And I'm sitting over here trying to be selected instead of doing the purpose that I was put on here to do. And that was this. I wasn't putting 100% in it. I was just focused on I want to get married. I want to get married. And nothing's wrong with that. I'm not beating you up because this is the spot for girlies that want to get married. However, I wasn't really focusing on my purpose, that the purpose that I was put here on earth. I feel like this is my purpose right here. However, I had put this on the back burner because I wanted to get married. That was something that I wanted and in my heart. And ladies, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can be in your purpose and meet your him. And that's exactly what happened. I was in my purpose and I met him. And you will do the same. Guess what? You will do the same. Some of you need to detox. All those guys that are circling you, orbiting you, you need to block and delete. He needs to be gone because every time he pops up on your phone, hey girl, what you doing? All that kind of stuff. Here you go. Your brain starts, here you go, all over again. I've been there, done that. I've been there, done that. And that's how I know. Right? I know. Every time his number pops up, ooh, right? Chilling. You could just be out with your girls, chilling, not even thinking about him, right? And then your phone is pinging, and boom, you see that? Oh, and now all of a sudden, the rest of your day, you're talking about him. Been there, done that. Right? I'm just saying, ladies, that sometimes we just need to he hasn't made a decision about us in quite some time. He's had access to us. He's had time to process whether he wants to be with us or not, and he didn't. It's time for you to make the decision. Executive move, baby. Cut to ties. You know how they do when they get ready to fire people? Hey, so and so wants to see you in their office. And you already know what it's going to be. You walk in, you sit down, you have a poker face. Well, it's come to our attention, blah, blah, blah. And we're making some cuts, and we've decided that we want to go in a different direction. So we're going to let you go. They pass a white envelope across the desk. You open it up, and hopefully it's the number that you want to walk out that door. You're like, you know what? Deuces. Peace out. And then you're like, wait, but I don't get to come back. That's how it needs to be, though. You need to give him his walking papers. Like, look, it's been real. However you want to do it. Sometimes it doesn't even deserve a conversation. A lot of times it doesn't even deserve a conversation. He'll get the hint when you stop picking up the phone. A lot of times men come back to see how dumb you are the second and third and fourth and 65th time they come back. And you have to be strong enough to say enough's enough. You're indecisive about me, but I'm sure about you. Block and delete. Once you do that and exercise that power, baby, that is the sexiest thing you could do, because now he's like, you force him to think, did I make the wrong decision by underestimating her? Like, she wasn't that bad. Was she that bad? Like, did I take her for granted? Do I really want to call her back? A lot of times they're still gonna try you, even though they blocked you. You blocked them on IG. They're gonna find you on Facebook. If they don't find you on Facebook, they'll find you on TikTok. And it's kind of low key stalking for sure. However, sometimes they just want to make contact. They want to see how bad. Like, are you going to stick to what you said? And when you stick to what you said, that is super powerful. They're like, wait a minute, did I make a good decision? He never has to sit and deal with his decision because you're constantly letting him back in. But once you cut him off, he's off. And that scares a man. And that will either make him, come to the table serious or not. And as an older woman who's been through that before, I can tell you that when he comes back, you should still let him go. And we talk about that in the Future Wives Club, and we talk about that on our one-on-ones, what you're supposed to do when he comes back, and I tell you what to say, how to do it, how to execute to get that ring. If he doesn't come back with a ring, then you know what it is. He's trying to rekindle some a long term friends with benefits situation, a long term fun girl. He's put you in a category, and he likes that category for you. It's comfortable for you. You're convenient. He doesn't want you out of that category, and he keeps coming back because maybe he hasn't found your replacement yet. He just needs to know how much power he has. A lot of men get off on the power that they get from being able to come back to you over and over and over and over and over. You have to let him know you no longer have that kind of power over me. Right? It breaks my heart to see women putting their lives on hold for a man. Never, ever, ever put your life on hold for a man. If he's not your husband, baby, that's your answer there. He's not your husband. So you never put your life on hold. I don't know too many men that put lives on hold for women. I just don't know it. And I don't care how fantastic they are. You've got to have enough self-esteem and enough belief in God and trust in God to know that, you know what, just like I found him, there's another man out there. There's a ram in the bush, baby. A ram in the bush. I should do a course called A Ram in the Bush. You got to believe in the ram in the bush. You got to believe. Right? You have to believe. Here it is, his only son, getting ready to be sacrificed. And God said, wait, I was calling your bluff. I was just playing with you. I was going to let you kill your son. Here's this ram, baby. You my boy. I'm not going to let you kill. Come on. Here's this ram. Sacrifice this ram. I just needed to know if he was down with me like that. God will allow certain things to happen to see if you really down with him. And a lot of times forfeits will come before your husband. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Think about what I said. If you're watching this on a replay, pause it. Think about what I just said. Sometimes you'll get forfeits first before you get the man. You have to recognize the forfeit before the husband can get to you. A lot of times women are married to whole forfeits, married to whole men they should have rejected. And so this brings me back to this video. Now you have women who have been involved in forfeits, horrible relationships, horrible interactions and connections. Sometimes, and here's the weird part, sometimes women are upset that they couldn't get guy A, that he has put them in rotation, and they're upset about that rotation. And um and so instead of saying, you know what, I'm just gonna wait on God. I'm gonna detox. I'm gonna let God just have His way in my life, and just let's just not. And waiting on God means I'm not leading my life. I'm letting God lead, and I'm taking His direction. The Bible says, "In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths." For all the people that get on women about waiting on God, there's nothing wrong with waiting on God as long as you're busy while you're waiting. What are you doing while you're waiting? Nothing's wrong with that. And so a lot of women are not waiting, as they say. They're not waiting. They're actively pursuing or wooing. I talked about wooing on another platform the other day. I should talk about that old school word, wooing. They're actually wooing men. Men should find you instead of you placing yourself somewhere to be found. That's still pursuing. And men can feel it, the energy's off. And a lot of times women do this and then they get frustrated when it fails. Because a truly masculine man, he can tell, baby, he can tell. And if he's truly masculine, he's turned off by a woman that's pursuing him. I can tell you that right now. Especially godly men. They're like, ew, ew. They're like, ew. She's pretty, but ew. Right? Let's go.
It was really good because at the beginning of this year, I was in a relationship. We broke up. I was single all summer.
Now, how much you want to bet she had a boyfriend at the beginning of the year and then they broke up? How much you want to bet he's orbiting? He's been orbiting her most of this year. This is what I'm talking about, ladies. Where you have a relationship that isn't going the way you want it to go, but he's still around. That's going to repel the good men from you. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I've been single. I'm still single. But I did decide to give a few people a chance. And
So at this point, he's orbiting her. Well, Mr. Cole, how do you know he's orbiting? He is. And so now she's giving. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm a woman, y'all. Y'all forget. I'm telling you, he's been orbiting. He's orbiting, and she's like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm gonna cut him off. So she cusses him out, cuts him off, and now she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go out to dinner with that fat guy at my job who's been asking me out. That's what this is. Now, this is where confirmation bias comes in, because by the time she goes out on a date with Chunky from work, she's already made up in her mind that she doesn't want him like that. Please understand, when you listen to these stories, and I guess my brain is trained like a mentor, I'm constantly listening for the story underneath the story. By the time she went out on a date with him, she had already made up in her mind she wasn't attracted to him. Miss Nicole, how do you know that? I know. She's doing it so that she can say, I've tried everything. When someone makes up in their mind that they're unhappy, is there anything that you can do to change their mind to make them happy? No, because they want to be unhappy. This is a situation where she's made up in her mind she's tired. She's tired. Oh, I guess I'll go out with the short guy who's been sending me, hey, beautiful messages to my inbox. I guess I'll go out with him. So let's back it up. She says she's gonna give them a try, right?
we broke up. I was single all summer. I've been single. I'm still single. But I did decide to give a few people a chance and just to like do it for the plot, see where things go. Maybe ease into talking to men again. They reminded me exactly why I don't.
And I just want to let you all know that these messages of I'm cutting men off, um, that's the fastest thing to kill your magnetism. Your magnetism. The thing that makes a woman magnetic is the fact that she's not bitter. I just posted this on my Facebook page. I don't think people got it. I don't think people understand how magnetism works. You're not a magnetic woman just because you're sexy. You're not a magnetic woman because you say the right things at the right time. All of those things can be practiced and performed. Magnetic is not something that you can create. Magnetic is just being. And a lot of women give off bitterness. You give off bitterness in your conversation. You could be sexy. Your conversation could be like velvet chocolate, baby. And your voice could be sweet and feminine. And the things you're saying, no, is cutting like daggers. And it gives off bitter. Men pick up on that superbly. Where it's packaged really good, but it's bitter. That is the quickest way to get a man to drop you like a hot potato, right? Because you're not magnetic. That doesn't draw him to you. Think about what a magnet does. It draws, like pulls, and stuck. It's a magnet. It's drawn. It's like you can't get away. You got to pull hard to get away from it. Magnetic women are not bitter. They don't speak bitter. They don't talk bad about men. That's how I know all this. Be magnetic. Be the woman that he can pursue. Girl, he's not pursuing you. You talk horrible about men. Men are not pursuing you except for sex. They just want to turn you over. That's it. I'm just getting real right up and through here. I'm just going to be blunt with you. All he wants to do is bend you over. When you talk bad about men, that's all they want from you. They've made up in their mind you can cancel Christmas, you can cancel Valentine's, and you can cancel St. Patrick's Day. It's done. It's done. It's over. When you talk bad about men, you can cancel it. Christmas. Think about if you were a man, right? And you're looking at a beautiful woman, you like, whoa, she is beautiful. And then she start talking like, I gave up on men because men are just that they just all cheat, girl. They just all DL, and they just all they want is sex, girl. And they just nasty, and all of them, girl. Mm. And you're a man, and you're listening to this, right? I mean, you like think like a man, right? Think like a man. Let's put our man caps on and think like a man. This is effective. Work with me here. What do you want from that woman at that point? What? Put it in the chat. What do you want from that woman at that point? After she kick in and I don't kick. What do you want from her? What can you want from her? What can you get from her? Like, let's make it simple. What can you get from her at this point? Because it's clear that she wants your attention because she's dressed sexy and she's talking sexy. What can you get from her? Because she's made it clear she doesn't trust you. She's made it clear that in a relationship, she's not really going to enjoy it with you. Y'all there? Talk to me. Like, what, as a man, are there any men in the clouds? Talk to me. What can you get from a woman like that? Does that make you want to be stuck to her? Or does that make you want to get away from her? Does that make you want to open up your heart? Or does that make you want to close your heart? Do you want to be vulnerable with this woman? Or do you think everything you tell her, she's going to flip it on you and stab you in the heart with it? Do you want to be with this one, be her man and protect her from harm? Or you just kind of like, yeah, if she's walking in the middle of the street and an accident happens, I guess, I don't know. Like, what do you want? Like, how do you, as a man, what do you want? What can you get? Phineas, my brother, says men do not want to pay the fines for a woman's bad experiences, especially if she chose them. So nothing. Exactly. It's nothing. It's nothing. So you've killed the magnetism. And I see so many beautiful women online talking about, I'm going to get a man to pursue me. Pursue me. Men won't pursue. They want to be the prize. Men want to be chased. No, men just want to be treated like human beings. So when you come in the door talking, oh, men just cheat. Men just want sex. Men don't want to commit. Men don't want to. Look, This is what the Future Wives Club is for. Right? This is what our chat is for. So you get that off your chest. Get it. Type it here. We get it. We won't beat you up because we understand you trying to get it off your chest. But when you go out into the real, see, this is a safe container for you all to get that off your chest. Every space that I curate for women, I let y'all talk and get that off your chest. And then at the end of the conversation, don't I always tell you all, now go be sweet, go be feminine, right? This is just a venting space. Don't I always tell y'all that? That's what this place is for. Go on and type it, get it off your chest. You go out in the real world and you go out in other spaces and you say that stuff, you don't know who's looking at you. Can you imagine if I fired up my channel and I said, child, screw black men. Child, these men, all they want is sex. And all they do is that. Do you think my husband would marry me? Do you think he would drive to come see a bitter old bat? Why would he do that? He's smart. Why would he do that? Ladies, be smart. Be smart, babies. Be smart. You are beautiful. You are sweet and kind, educated, right? Fantastic. Love, spectacular woman. Don't ruin it and don't ruin your magnetism by talking ill will about men. That's a venting session for you and your girls with a glass of wine and y'all just sitting and chit chatting. And then when you get up from that, you go, okay, I got my venting, I'm good, right? You don't take that to social media and anybody associated with the inner beauty movement is not doing videos, reels, posts, comments about how horrible men are. That's for us to talk about. Like I get emails from girls all the time. Girl, look at this video. Or they'll send me videos of crazy men saying stupid stuff. That do that. That's okay, because we get it, right? But you start doing that with everybody else, and God forbid you do that on your social media platforms. Men will see it. They will always see the worst. For some reason, social media is excellent at highlighting the worst of us. But anyway, they'll see it and they'll go, wait, okay, she was cute. And depending on his valor, or depending on his honor, excuse me, his honor, he may or may not want to continue with you. And a lot of men will just continue with you superficially, meaning you're a fun girl at that point. Because if you talk like that and you don't even know him, if you talk like men, talk about men like that and you don't even know him, what are you going to do when you're close to him? That's what men are thinking. If she talks like this about men, what is she going to do when she gets to know me? Is she going to put my business out there? Is she going to talk about me like that? God forbid we get in a relationship and we break up. What is she going to do? Right? Let him wonder about those things. Don't confirm it. Duh.
For the foreseeable future, I am opted out of dating. I don't want to go on dates. I don't want to talk to a man in a romantic way at all. I honestly don't even think I want male friends. Like, I don't want to get to know any men. I don't. I even gave guys a chance that are not my typical type.
First of all, I don't even know what the benefit of not having male friends is. Now, that's weird to me. I don't know what life would be out without a man. So, like, there are women who say, "Oh my God, men aren't the be all, the end all." Well, they sure are, because I'm not building these concrete buildings, and I'm not building skyscrapers, and I'm not going to the military to defend this nation. I will support the military. Oh, for sure, I support the Department of War. I support that all day long. I have an active duty son. I am not going to go and hold any weapon to do nothing. Defending my home is about it, and my person is about it. But defending the nation, that's not me. I'm not fighting in any war. I'm not doing any of that. That is a man's job to protect, lay down his life for pretty old little old me. Not me laying down my life for him. Shout out to the women that have fought for your country. I love you. Thank you so much for your service. But by and large, men know what they got to do about it. Here it's 300. Pick up a sword and your shield and get out there and defend and die for what you love. Not me. So when people say, I don't even want male friends. I don't even know what universe you're on because the last I checked, every time I moved, it was a bunch of men with muscles moving my stuff. I don't know about you, but the last time my car was fixed, it was by a man. I don't know about you, but the last time I have any major thing going on, I'm calling a man. Have you ever tried to call a woman to get something done? You're like, oh my God. Unless it's something bureaucratic that's office related, like, I don't know, something to do with the office, yeah, you're probably going to get a lot done with a woman. But when it comes to muscles and brawn, and so I want a man up in here, where are the men? I want some testosterone. Women get on my nerves sometimes. I want a man. Where are the men? Young, old, white, black, Latino, Asian, Jew, don't care. Don't care. Where are the men? Women get on my nerves sometimes. I don't have to be a girl's girl. I appreciate men and I appreciate women. I'm the biggest protector of women, but I also value men. And I'm not getting down there laying pipes in the street. Are you? And mess up my pedicure, my manicure, my pedicure. Why would I do that? Wear these big hard boots. Shout out to the women who do it. Bless your heart, baby. But not me. No, no, no. That's what the men are supposed to do. They are built for that. Let God use them. Like, I don't want male friends. Bless your heart, baby. Oh my God. Bless your heart.
Like like many of you have suggested, give someone a chance. It's not your type. Try someone new. Step outside the box. No, no. I will be sticking with my type if I do decide to date in the future. You guys want to hear the story about the one who really gave me the ick? Like, I don't know what he did, but he figured out what every single one of my icks were and like did all of them, and I had to cut him off and block him because he was just. I gave this man a chance. He's like the opposite of everything that I would go for, and this is exactly why I don't go for that.
Okay. So so I caught that. She said, and when I start dating again, it's going to be the guy A. She said it's going to be the guy that I prefer. So we back to square one, right? So she hasn't learned anything. And then she says, and I'm not beating up on her, but I want to use this to illustrate real time what I'm talking about. Right? So after she's detoxing, she said, now she hasn't given the detox time, but she's already determined that at the end of the detox, right? She's going to go back to the guys that she likes anyway. So we haven't really cleansed our brains, have we? We haven't really cleansed our minds. And secondly, she says, yeah, and the guy that I went out with, he ended up being a weirdo. So we didn't vet him before we went out on a date with him. We just said, okay, you'll do. Come on here, chump. Go on out on a date with me. That's kind of ego driven, isn't it? Well, you didn't even vet him. You just said, okay, you'll do. Come on. Come on, ladies. Come on, come on, come on, come on, y'all. Don't that was a waste of time. Because by that time, he's so hard up and horny. He was doing all kinds of crazy. Hey, Diamond, I spent lot of money on you. That whole Myron thing from Players Club, he on that kind of energy. You didn't vet him? Come on now. Come on, ladies. Come on. He's a weirdo, true enough. But weirdos are not that different before they start acting weird. Oh, some Myron from Players Club energy. I spent a lot of money on you, Diamond. That kind of energy. Come on, ladies. She says, I think understanding attraction grows comes with maturity, which many women lack today. We have a generation of childish women, no shade. I get it. Yeah, I do believe I give them grace. I think a lot of women will get that attraction grows, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit when we talk about the power of a woman series. I'm going to start that at the beginning of the year. The power of a woman is going to be great. Valina says, I would say I don't date I would say don't date someone who you think is ugly and you have no attraction to at all. But if someone is not 100%, this thing is in the way. It's not 100% the fine, but you still find them cute. I think that can work as well. Very, very smart woman right there. That's all I've been trying to teach you. That if the fine man isn't choosing up on you, and the guy over here, he isn't ugly, but he may not be fine, Give him a chance. What we doing? That's all I'm saying. So, all right. So, let's see what other questions we have here. She says, "Oh, I think that was a question to him. Which one of the women in that community is going to make pet food?" That's crazy. Let's see. She says, "I'm 54, been divorced for many years, still believe in getting married again." Awesome. Love that. Tyson is good looking. You just have to watch the show. I was just not surprised at the ending. And I just was very kind of disappointed to see beautiful women acting like that over him. I was just kind of like, we got to do better. He said, "I have even tried to get back into going back to church. It did not last." Oh Lord, you got to give it a try. When you say wooing, are you saying women who go places just to be chose? So wooing is a process of pursuing someone in an effort to change their mind. And men have checked out of wooing. I'm going to introduce some of these old words. I think I might do a whole stream about old words we no longer use, but are still relevant, like skank. Um, it's, it's a bunch of words. It's a bunch of words, not just words against women. I mean, just general words. Wooing is another word. Valor is another word. I love that word describing men. I might do a whole stream about old words we no longer use but are still valid and probably more relevant and probably more use case better for use case purposes. But anyway, wooing is like doing things for people in an effort to change their mind. So like a company may woo you. So remember the movie The Firm? For some of you that may not have watched it, I'm a Tom Cruise fan. And so one of his best movies in my opinion was The Firm. And because I was in the legal field, I found it very fascinating and their portrayal of attorneys is crazy. But in the movie, he's graduating from Harvard Law and he had all of these law firms from around the country wooing him. Sorry. And what that meant was they were making different offers and offering different benefits to him to get him to choose them. That's wooing. So they were flying him to their firm, making offers that that were very competitive for a first year lawyer, first year attorney, right? And he hadn't even passed the bar at that point, which is crazy. Because graduating from law school is just one step. You still have to pass the bar in your prospective states that you plan to practice law in. He had not passed the bar, and they were still wooing him. Have you ever been with a guy that you're just kind of on the fence with, but he's still asking you out, and he's still calling you and sending you roses and candy and that old-fashioned romance thing that we used to see in the movies that they no longer do because men have stopped wooing? Because women have convinced them that wooing doesn't work with them. If I'm not attracted to you, don't woo me. Men were brought up that women like to be wooed, they like to be pursued. But men have gotten the memo that if she's not attracted to you, she does not want you to pursue her and she does not want you to woo her. So, so yes, I'm saying if you're not already in position, for instance, Veronica, um, I started my channel just what I'm doing here for years, right? I've been doing this for years, right? If I started this channel just to get male attention, That's chasing. I am chasing men at that point because I am trying to be seen. I am performing. I'm getting out there to be seen. But let's say I'm doing this as my purpose and someone sees me and starts to pursue me because they see me in my element. That's pursuit. For example, in the Bible, in the book of Ruth, Ruth she was doing her thing. She wasn't even paying attention to Boaz. She didn't even know he was there. She was at work chilling, trying to get that overtime, that OT, right? Because the president said no taxes on OT, right? So she's like trying to get that OT in. Ruth is getting it, getting it. Her and Naomi trying to get on their feet. And word comes down from middle management that the boss, Boaz, said that you specifically can have all the wheat you want. Everything on here, you can work all the OT you want because you've been watched. Ruth didn't even know she was getting watched. She was just out there chilling, working overtime, trying to get that OT. And Boaz was paying attention. He was looking at the corner of his eye. He was like, "Yo, who's that baddie over there? What's she doing? Why she working so hard? Where her husband at? She should be chosen." Her middle management guy was like, "I don't know. She started. She just got out of training. She's been trying to work that OT, and But I told her she couldn't work any OT because you said in that memo last week they weren't supposed to get no OT." Boaz was like, "What memo?" No, no, no. She cool. Let her do whatever she want, wherever she wants. She can even go to the other departments and work OT. You leave that one alone. Toucheth not, Ruth. He was like, "Oh, it's like that? Okay, cool." So he goes over there to tell Ruth, Ruth, it came down from the top that you can work as long as you want, do whatever you want, you good. Ruth was like, "Oh, okay." Ruth was chilling. She wasn't trying to be seen. She wasn't performing. She was trying to get on. She was hungry, literally and figuratively. Her and Naomi moved from Moab. I think it's Moab. From Moab to where they were, and they were hungry. Their providers had died, their husbands had died, and back then the women stayed home and the men worked out in the fields to earn money or food to feed the family, and the land was in a drought. And so money was just, they were in a depression, and so they're in this new town trying to get on. And so Naomi's older, she's older, right? Nobody's hiring Naomi like that, you know so Ruth was like, "I got to get out here and get it. I got to take care of her. She's like a mom to me." And Boaz was like, "Ooh, who was that over there? Let her do whatever she want. Don't mess with her. If she has an issue, you come to me." Right? That's how it is when you have favor. When a man is looking at you and he could tell when you're just doing you, that's the best way, when it looks organic. A lot of women have lost before they even say hello because it doesn't even look organic. You look like you're performing. All the women calling us pick me's are the ones pick me in because what you do when you try to be seen, when you try to be extra sexy, when you try to overperform, you know what they feel? You know what men feel? Like, she's so pretty, she's overdoing it. She's performing. It's a feeling they get in their gut. Fellas, back me up on this. You get this feeling in your gut, like she's pretty, she's fine. I'll knock them down. It's cool. I'll knock her down. But it's terms of she's too pretty. She doesn't know her worth. We're gonna talk about this at the beginning of the year because this is powerful right here. As a matter of fact, I'll probably put it behind a paywall after I say it because I'm gonna be giving a lot of information out. And men are like, "Oh no, I'm gonna knock her down, but I'm not keeping her." Because she doesn't even know her power. She's giving her power away. What kind of valuable woman gives her power away? You mean to tell me her beautiful breasts she's going to expose to the world? And she wants me to value that? I want people to wonder what my wife looks like naked, not literally pull up a picture anytime they want and see my wife naked. Now, some men that are not honorable and they don't care, And they were probably raised in the dark market. I'm just being real. They probably okay with that. But the general man out here, especially a godly man, he's looking at, well, what would my daughter think? What would my mother think? What would my church think? What would I think? I wouldn't be cool with that. This is my legacy, my name, right? I want people to honor my wife, and I want to be able to protect her. And if she doesn't know her power and she's just giving it away, something's wrong with that. Something's wrong. I remember going into a shoe store with my grandmother years ago. Shout out to my grandmother. By the way, I'm third generation of mentors, women mentors. My grandmother was a very popular mentor in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And shout out to her. Did a lot of good work that still stands today. And then my mother worked with women, so I'm like third generation. But going into the store with my grandmother, we were after church one day because I used to summer in Texas with them and my grandparents. And I go into the shoe store with my grandmother one day after church. And she's just, shopping like she likes to do. And she's going in there and she's looking at these shoes. My grandmother loved her some shoes. And so she's looking at these shoes, and the guy that was selling her the shoes, she's like, "Oh, these shoes are the same color." And my grandmother was trying to tell him, "No, they're not the same color. Something's wrong with those shoes. They're different shades." And he was like, "No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the same." I mean, he was so persistent, kind of almost forcing himself on my grandmother. Like, no, 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 because she was like, she went to that store a lot and they kind of knew her by name. And he was just like, no, 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 it's the same, it's the same. My grandmother was like, listen, I come in here and you know me by name. We have a rapport. I spend much money up in here. I don't understand why you feel you need to lie to me. I'm telling you that's not the same color. It was so bad that my grandfather was just like, I'm out of it. It doesn't look the same, but you're gonna do what you want to do anyway. And she came to me and I said, no, those shoes look different. My grandmother was like, see, if my granddaughter could tell that these are different shades, it's not the real thing. Something's wrong with it. He was like, no, 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 no. I'll even knock the price down just for you. Just for you. No, no, no. They're the same. They're the same. The moral of the story is when something is valuable and it's the real thing, you don't have to convince. That's the moral of the story. And a lot of people out here, two shades of the same shoe, right? Two different shades. Two different shades. That's what I meant to say. Two different shades. But when you're the real thing, baby, you don't have to be half naked. You don't have to talk sexy. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to give yourself away. That's the hack. That's what men don't want you to believe. Because when they're in the dark market, baby, they don't want you to know your real value because they're trying to get you for cheap. They want you. They will be like, yeah, baby, give me those two-tone shoes. And they'll play that game with you. They'll play that game with you and they'll try to market. So if you could give it to me for that, you can give it to me for that. And if you give it to me for that, and I believe the shoes were like 90 something dollars. And in the 80s, that was a lot of money. And he was like, no, 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 no. I mark them down to like 50. And my grandmother was like, woo, 50. That's doing, ooh, 50. That's, ooh. She was like really thinking. And my grandfather was like, well, you remember what you said. It's two shades. So if we can tell it's two shades, everybody else could tell it's two shades. And she was like, yeah, it's that cheap. And I still won't get it because it's two shades. He was like, no, 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 no. $50 now. And then the next time you come in, I'll give you a discount on that shoe too. My grandmother was like, no, I'm not doing it. That's exactly what godly men do with a woman. She keeps marking her price down. You know what? He doesn't care about the price. It's not the price, it's the value of the shoe. It's not the price. I'll pay the 90 something dollars for it. That's not the point. The point is it's two different colors. One shoe is this shade of purple and the other shoe is a lighter shade of purple. I want the shoes to be the right color. It's not the price. I will pay the price because it's worth it. That's what a godly man looks at a woman and hopes she gets. I'll pay the price for you because you're that valuable. You got to know that. You know what a cheap man does, a bad man does, a man that's out here playing, playing games, a man that he hopes you don't know your value. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter that they're two-tone shoes. It doesn't matter that he's marked it down. Matter of fact, if he marked it down to $50, then he could give it to me for 25 because I know and he knows that they're two different shades. But if I can get him down to $25, guess what? If I can get him down to 25, I can get it down to zero. And that's exactly what men are doing with half dressed women online, half dressed women in public, women that go around talking about who they slept with. That's what they do. They love it. They're like, oh, well, she doesn't know her value. She's a two-tone pair of shoes. I can get them for free. Because if he offered it down to 50, then I can haggle them down to 25. And if I get it 25, I can get her to give me everything for free. Shout out to Phineas. He says men do not want to pay the fines for a woman's bad experiences, especially if she chose them. So nothing. Yeah, that's a good one. Guys can definitely tell when you don't like them and are just giving them a chance. That doesn't feel good for anyone. Exactly. Exactly, ladies. Men can tell. Men are not as out of it as you think they are. When I'm located for work, it's a tiny town and the people are kind of mean and the men are ill. During some months, you might see someone presentable, but these are usually people traveling on vacation in the summer. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But I just want women to understand your worth. Women, don't get quiet on me, ladies. Just let that soak in. Let that soak in right quick. We're almost done. Herbert Joyce says women should not be naked on the internet if they really wanted a man. We respect women that don't show their bodies, save it for marriage. There you go. Baby, you can be all kind of slut, any kind of slut you want within marriage. The marriage bed is not defiled. That's what I say. Slut it on up. That's the man you should be nasty with is your man. It's your husband. Matter of fact, future wives, we talk different. We speak different. And so if you want the future wives glossary, make sure you get that. That's available in the app. We no longer say provider. We no longer say 50-50 and all that other stuff. And it's a couple of more items I want to update it. So if you are in the Future Wives Club, you have the updated version. But you can purchase the Future Wives Club glossary, how we speak. We speak like wives. So when we're on dates and when we're out with men and we speak, we sound different. If you've heard me speak on different platforms and I pop on TikTok from time to time on my friends live, when I talk about certain terms that are overused, overshared on social media, you'll hear me switch and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't use the same terminology. That's talking like a wife. Ladies, you need to start speaking as and owning how you speak. And I don't have to tell you exactly what to say. Like scripts, there's nothing wrong with scripts from time to time to give you an idea of what you should say. But as wives, our conversation should be a little bit more mature, a little bit more modest, and a more elegant. And some words have been overused to the point where, like provider, I can't even, every time I hear that word, I get nauseous. It makes me sick because that word was used by traditional women like you and I who are talking about a man using his resources to provide for his family. They have taken that word to mean somebody that gives you money, that, you're just dating him. They've taken that to mean the dark market, transactions, and if he wants sex, then he need to pay me, and if I'm pretty, he need to give me money, and so forth and so on. That's not what that's meant for. When we speak of that, we have a different way we say that, the same thing. And that's what the glossary is for. Ladies, cop the glossary. You can get it on the app, the Feminine Elite Society app. That's available on Apple and Google, the Feminine Elite Society app. Or you can get it through my Patreon, and the link is in the description box below. Or you can, for those of you that are in the Future Wives Rest in my femininity. That's a good one. I have a better way to say that as well. We're gonna invent our own lexicon over here. Good girls have our own way of saying things, and when we say things, men are going to be magnetized to us, not turned off. You see that T-shirt I have on your screen, God's Covered Girls. Those are now available, and baby, they are so cute, and they're not super expensive, but they are good quality. I made sure to pick a company that had good quality T-shirts. Nothing really chaps my hide is buying a T-shirt and one wash, it's done. I cannot stand that. Good quality T-shirts at an affordable price. It's not too much. It's a T-shirt. You know what I mean? Just throw it on, right? But it has significance because it's what it's saying. So we have mugs, we have journals, we have aprons, and I want to do a whole apron line, a whole kitchen line. I've always wanted to do that. That's been my dream, is have a kitchen line to represent the traditional wives of the world. The pioneer woman shouldn't be the only woman with dishes and things like that. So that's just one of my dreams. But we do have aprons, and I had aprons years ago, but we have aprons now. We have journals. We have This is just one design. I have a couple of more designs you might like. God's Cover Girls with a lipstick thing. It's really cute. You check it out. The link is right below this video at the very top, and it says shop on that you could toggle to the shop, and then click on that, and then you'll see all of the products there. And we even have sweaters with our insignia on it. When I tell you we are the elite society, you can have a sweater with our insignia on it. We're like a sorority, if you will. And it has the little insignia on it and all that kind of stuff. I have some more stuff coming down the pipe, but Lord, it took me 2 or 3 years to get. But I think this is a good design personally. So I wanted to wait until I was happy with the design. I think I am, and I think that you'll enjoy that. Also, Blind Spot to Bride is available now for those of you ladies that are listening to me on the live. You have a special launch price. For those of you listening to me on the rebroadcast, make sure you join my newsletter, mrsnicolemichelle.com, to hit the link inside the email to get this offer. But baby, it's launched. Blind Spot to Bride. Well, I got mush mouth today. Blind Spot to Bride is about really figuring out why your relationships aren't going the distance. Nothing really hurt me or frustrated me more than when I was single, going through relationships and having a relationship that I thought should have gone the distance, not go the distance. And I really didn't have someone that I could really open up to 110%. Like, I did eventually get a coach, but we talked about my little idiosyncrasies. We didn't really dissect my relationships, and I said, you know what? I should create this for women because that's what I wanted when I was single, was somebody to just break it down to me and say, Nicole, this is the problem right there. That, fix that, that. Well, they fixed something else, and that's cool, but I wish I had had this, and that's what inspired this program, was that women, busy women, exceptional, beautiful women like yourselves, should be out touching grass, going out being pretty and be seen. But if you have an hour or so, you can take this program, and within an hour, you should be able to pinpoint, or you will be able to pinpoint, what exactly is keeping your relationships from going a distance. That one thing, now you can work on that one thing instead of thinking it's this thing over here, fixing that, and it's still not working. Nothing is frustrating more than you think it's one thing. Like, you're like, oh, it must be my weight. And then you lose all of this weight, and then you're still not in the relationship that you want. So then you're more frustrated because you're like, wait, I did all that. I gave up cookies and pies, and I'm still single. Why? Well, because that wasn't the problem, obviously. Maybe it was a symptom, but not necessarily the actual problem. Then, maybe it is, okay, I'm going to take this class by this person, or I'm going to listen to 11 videos on how to get married. And you did that. And you even implemented some of the things from the video. However, the case may be, you're still single. Why? You don't know. That's the problem. So you implemented what this woman said in this video, what that woman said in this video. You even listened to some men. You did what they said. Well, let me switch and start listening to men because maybe women don't know what they're talking about. So you start listening to men, and all of them probably gave you some good advice, but it still didn't solve the problem because you got into relationships and they still didn't work out. And now you're even more frustrated. So then you're like, screw it. I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to enroll in this course. I'm going to go to this empowerment seminar or webinar or event for women. I'm going to spend that money and get in the presence of a real coach. I'm going to do that. And you did that. No shade to the coach. They gave you good advice. Just it didn't hit the spot though, because you implemented everything that person told you and you still didn't get the results you needed. You're like, what? Now you're even more frustrated. Now you aggy because now you're almost ready to fire up, do a TikTok video saying that you're giving up on men. And I'm saying you don't have to do that. Get the blind spot to bride now, and within an hour or so, maybe a little bit over an hour, you will have the answer that you need, right? And that's the point. No fluff, direct information, no beating around the bush, no dragging, no trying to figure it out, no this and that. No, just solve one problem. It's not going to get you married overnight. That's not what this does. This is solving one problem. One, and that is, why aren't my relationships working out? I just need to know why. Get me the right reason. And that's what we do. We dissect it. It's a really good problem. Shout out again to our new bride. For those of you that probably weren't here at the beginning, but we announced for our small little our boutique movement over here, our small boutique movement, the inner beauty movement. We have a lot of wins, and we just had another win. Tasia, shout out to her, just got engaged. Shout out to her. Beautiful ring, beautiful ring. Beautiful ring. I have some brides listening to me right now. You need to get the blind spot to bride, or if you want a coaching, not a coaching, a mentoring package, and you're ready to invest in talking to me one on one, you need to send me an email because that's next level. That's doing something else. But blind spot to bride is available for everybody that wants to do it and you want to invest. Tasia, beautiful testimony that I will put in the email so that you ladies can read it. And she explained that she now has the soft life thanks to her Naomi, yours truly. Baby, I'm excited because when you ladies win, I win. Okay? I'm like the coach on the sidelines. Like, run this play, run this, run that. I'm like your coach. I'm like your Bill Belichick on the sidelines, like telling you what to do to win it. I don't even like him. Jim Jones, I'm on the sideline telling y'all what to do, what plays to run, right? This is what you do. This is what you do, right? I don't get praise unless you win. I don't win unless you win. I don't get respect unless you win. So I gotta work. I work and I get the job done. That's what we do over here with the small little boutique movement that we have. We have a lot of wins. A lot of lives have been changed. Don't underestimate your inbox messages to me just because I don't get to them right away. I see them and I need them just as much as you need that win. I need to know that what I'm doing works. I need to know because I don't have to get rattled by numbers and a lot of things because I know that even with the small audience, we're producing as if we have a large audience. That's the beautiful part. Just imagine if I had 500,000 people viewing my videos and actually working with me, what kind of work and what kind of transformation we will be doing. We already shift the culture. If I say this is horrible, we already shift, we already influence a lot of spaces. We do it and we'll never get acknowledged, but we influence a lot of spaces. We do. Shout out to you ladies because you all are the executors of that. When we say we speak differently, everybody wants to know what we're going to say because we're going to shift it. And a lot of that stuff people are saying is crap and they know it. And I'm going to tell it. And I'm going to tell it because society is in trouble. The enemy seeks to devour, to kill, steal, and destroy the lives of women. And we got to call it out. And that's what we do over here. In this little boutique movement, God is blessing us with the little that we have. And I love it for her. Bless Tasia, send Tasia, congratulations. I put a post on my Instagram saying congratulations to her. Fellas, this is what we do over here. Isn't she pretty? That's what I'm talking about. That's wife material. We don't have boo boos over here. We have beautiful women in the inner beauty movement. God's cover girls, the future wives club, and the feminine elite. That's what we have. So, thank you, ladies. I don't see any questions. As yet, I'm trying to see if I overlooked any questions. Again, if you are interested in starting the year off with a package, a mentoring package with me one on one, you and I, one on one on camera, let's do it. Let's do it. Camera or not, that's your choice. Let's do it. Send me an email so that we can discuss your package. And if you want the blind spot to bride, let's go. Stop waiting. Make an investment. Let this be your Christmas present to yourself. That you're going to at least go into the next year knowing exactly why your relationships aren't working out. Nothing is more frustrating than having your relationships that should have worked out not work out. Stop guessing. Stop guessing. That isn't working. Stop guessing. A lot of women are guessing their way through it, and that's wasting your time. You are a woman. Time is of the essence. And the more you sit there and think about stuff and guess about it, and you're working on things that are not the problem, you're missing out on an opportunity to walk into your wife era. Shout out to Tasia. She's walking into her wife era. I'm excited for her. She's about to be a housewife. What? This is the only place I know that prepares you for the soft life like that, where you get to walk off your job when you get married, because we're preparing traditional wives over here, especially in the Black American community, especially for Black women. Come on. I don't know who else is doing that. I know women that are helping them get married, but not getting them ready for the traditional housewife. Because people try to say like that stuff doesn't exist, baby. Yes, it does. Maybe not in your universe, but in ours, it happens all the time. This is proof. Shout out to Tasia. I'm excited for her. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Ivana. Her husband just doing all kinds of crazy, crazy stuff for her. You talk about soft life, playing golf on Tuesday afternoons. What we doing? That's the soft life I'm talking about over here, where we compare how you're decorating your kitchen this year, how you're decorating your tablescapes, and what new appliances are you getting to take care of your family. That's what we do over here. That's how we do it. Shout out to the ladies like that. Also, make sure that you follow me on Threads and follow me on IG and follow me on Facebook. I have like 3 pages on Facebook. So follow me on 2 of them. And so that we can connect. Because a lot of you, you don't connect with me on YouTube. You just listen. That's cool. But follow me on Facebook so that you can at least connect with me every day. Every day. Connect, 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 connect. Some stuff over there you might enjoy. What's the link? Um the link for the what? The shirts or the course? The link to Blind Spot to Bride should be at the top. It should be pinned at the top. Let me know. Do you see it? Put a 1 in the chat if you see it. I want to make sure. Okay. You see it? It should be pinned at the top. It is Blind Spot to Bride launch price. Just for you ladies, it will increase after the launch. So you don't want to wait. Go ahead and get it. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. It's under the first. Absolutely. Thank you, Ivana. Vanna got her a good husband, y'all. We don't just marry anybody over here. We marry good men. Shout out to brother Kevin, doing his thing, taking care of his wife, spoiling his wife. That's what we do over here. I don't know if any other spaces that produce traditional housewives at this rate. I mean, getting women married, that's easy because like everybody's working. But to in this era where men are kind of like proclaiming that they don't want traditional housewives and we still produce that is amazing. Shout out to me. I want to see more of you in your soft life, soft wife era. Let's go. Let's get it. Hey, Miss Witt. Hey, all of you. I love you. By the way, the link will be good for those of you that are listening to me on the rebroadcasting. You want the blind spot the bride. No problem. Go to mrsnicolemichelle.com. Get on the newsletter. When you get the newsletter, click the link and get the blind spot the bride. Give yourself the gift of clarity for Christmas. There it is. There it is. In case I don't see you next week, because it's up in the air, but in case I don't see you next week, know that I love you and I'll be right back. I may do a rewind. I don't know. But if I pop up, y'all come chill with me. For producing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. You are the best there are. And check out the t-shirts. Get the t-shirts. Give yourself the t-shirts. It's a good, cute conversation starter. Can you imagine being around a handsome guy and he sees God's covered girls? That's a icebreaker right there. The other one is God's covered girls, and it's another one. Y'all look at the designs there. But we're ready. We're ready. And with that being said, remember, I love you and Jesus Christ loves you. And until the next time, keep the faith, everybody. Peace.